In theory, this should work. Boom, and there it is. Congratulations, you just posted or deployed a new project to Vercel. We saw the little confetti come down. Hey guys, welcome to a tutorial on how to deploy a Next.js application. So what I want to start with is just bird's eye view, talk about how we want to deploy it and keep it as simple as possible, because you guys are going to have different varying applications that do different things. So we're going to first keep it very, very, very simple. I'll just say npx create next app latest or create dash next dash app at latest dot slash. Of course, I'd like to use TypeScript. I'll go with all my Next.js configurations. You could just basically press enter through all of them. But if you want to copy mine, this is roughly what mine look like. But today's not really about building the Next.js part of the code. We're more focused on deploying it. So right off the very beginning of this, we have our, oops, let me go back to the terminal and just shrink it down a bit. Let me zoom in for y'all. So all we've done is just create a plain Jane Next.js application. And I'll say npm run dev just to get the server started. And let me pull it up so we're looking at exactly what we want to deploy. So the point of deployment is to obviously make this publicly accessible. So right now on my machine, I can see what I'm building and see the web application that I'm building. But we obviously want to have a .com website, a shareable link that we could show our friends, family, possible employers, or if you have a full-on product to take on users. So right here, I just have, as mentioned, my application. So I'll pop that off screen. And I'm going to delete everything, and we'll just build our application, right? Our custom application. So let me just make a div here, and I'll say, this is my app. And again, this is a metaphor. This should be your code. So whatever your product and service does, this is where your code may differ from mine, but it's perfectly fine. This should all still work the same. So the next step is I want to go to GitHub, and I want to make sure that I have a GitHub repository for this application, or you could use Bitbucket as well. But so I'll come up here to the top right. I'll click on this plus. I'll say new repository. Repository name. I'll just say Next.js deploy tutorial. And I'll make this public for you guys by any chance you need to steal the code. But really, this should be your own code. And I'm going to go ahead and create the repository. And I want to steal this first code block of text down. Basically, I just want to get my Next.js application. Let me cancel the terminal or cancel the server and paste that code block in. But basically, I want to get my code on a repository, whether it's a Bitbucket or GitHub. So I'll say git add with a period, and then I'll say git commit, and I can leave a message, say init repo for initialized repository, and then finally I'll say git push. So this should, if we've done this all correctly, this should have all of our code, which we have here. And you could double check, make sure it's most up to date, all these things. So if I go to page.tsx, we should say, this is my app. And there it is right there, which is perfect. So we know that it's working, at least to this step. The next step we want to do, so step one is build your code. Step two is going to be build some sort of repository. And step three is we want to go to vercel.com and build a website, or excuse me, build an account for Vercel. So you may need to do this. I already have my account, but if you don't have your account, you're going to obviously need to build a account. So I could go to my dashboard right here, and then I want to say add new in the top right, and I want to say add new project. You can see a few of the builds that I have in Next.js on this. And you can see that I've already connected this to my GitHub repository. It may ask you to do the same. It may ask you to connect your GitHub repository to your Vercel application. Go ahead and do that, and then give access to the repositories that you want to deploy. So I've already done that. If you go here, you see that this is the repository that we just created in GitHub. If I could pull back my GitHub. Where is our repositories? You can see this is the same exact repository. There's my face. Love to see that guy, right? But you can see Next.js deploy tutorial. That's the first one that's popping up. So I want to click that and press import. And I could rename it. Obviously, I'll just keep it the same as the repository name. But if you wanted to, you could rename it whatever you need to. And then I could just go ahead and press deploy. Make sure that my root directory is the // That's just my project root directory. I don't have a separate folder. You may have your project nested in a folder. But I do not. So I could just do / here. And then I could say deploy. And in theory, if we've done all these steps correctly, we should now have a Next.js application that we can access from a shareable link. Now, this isn't full-blown deployment. Now, I've actually used this for my SaaS product, and I just needed to buy a domain name. So I'll have another tutorial on how to do that and show you how to customize your domain. And then I'll also have some AWS deployment stuff. But for Next.js applications, Vercel is such an easy go-to 1, 2, 3 step. Just basically build your code, write your code, push it to a repository of some sort, and then go to Vercel and import that repository. And it's that simple. So in theory, this should work. Boom, and there it is. Congratulations, you just posted or deployed a new project to Vercel. We saw the little confetti come down, and we have a preview of this. Let's see if we go back to our dashboard. I can actually see the application right here. Here's the shareable link, or excuse me, this is the shareable link right here, Next.js deployment. Boom. And this shareable link now, this is my app. This is what we just saw on localhost, but our server's not running. And this link you could share with your friends, you could share with employers, you could share onto your phone. And yeah, and then I'll have a tutorial on how to get a custom domain name next. But that is how to deploy a Next.js application on Vercel, guys. Thank you so much for watching.